new names in there, Muhai and Electro Fire. So
Yeah.
like we mentioned again, the new blood coming in to supplement the old blood is definitely a very strong mix. And Hong Kong over here, we got some old and new blood mix as well. But then again, they do have one man short on the roster overall, so they may be less diverse in terms of general skill sets. However, in group stage, we're still looking at a very easy pool, and I'm just going to say that whoever can pull the better consistency here will win. It's not really about seeding here. Hong Kong and France can both look equally likely to climb out of this.
Yeah, I definitely hope that France is not going to repeat history. I hope they're going to defy history, because history definitely has shown them surrendering a little bit too many times, and that also happened last year. So I hope this time they're going to make it out of group and definitely have a good showing on the harder maps later in the stages.
Oh
Because
yeah.
that's where they shine the most. With players like Tapoon and Musty and Nero, you just have so many good players, good tournament players, in terms of mechanical skill and overall skill sets in what they can do. But it's just sad to see them go on such an easy map pool and then have them disappear and not be able to prove themselves in later stages.
You can see that in the room here, the players are basically in place. Not sure if ready yet. We're gonna start with basically the same flowchart. So for those who are just tuning in, like this is the first match of your career, you've only begin seeing OWC the first time. We're gonna start with one warm-up map from each side. So both teams are going to pick one, and that's the two in total. And then we're going to move into the bands. After the bands, we're going to be starting the actual group stage match itself. So yeah, the warm-up maps are always fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the teams have to pick to throw at each other. I mean, we have like seriously ridiculous maps that are just super hard, like 8-9 stars to throw the opponents off, or we can have some sort of like meme maps where I think it's like Team Poland basically every single match they would throw up some Polish song that nobody has ever heard of.
Yeah, I'm always excited for the Polish meme maps. I
Yeah.
spoke about it before, but
And you're like, who the hell maps this? Who is mapping all of these songs?
I think the real question is, like, why aren't there more?
There are like a couple of like actual ranked Polish songs, but I mean like the ones we're talking about that they just throw up is like you've never heard of them, and they're just there.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of come out of nowhere, but obviously, we're not Polish, so it's not like we hear these kinds of things every single. They're probably very popular songs within, Poland and the Polish community and
The
whatnot.
thing which surprises me the most about these Polish songs and warm-ups, because they're so popular and they started such a long time ago, they slowly migrated towards having good mappers and actually being playable. Like that's the worst thing about it, or the most interesting thing about it is that the Polish meme songs play better than some of the ranked maps. I'm so surprised that the Polish meme songs just are evolving.
Maybe one day we'll see Polish memes actually being a OWC map pool map. That would be pretty spicy. Big if
I mean, Kane and I being map pool selectors, we can maybe have a hand in there, but I don't think the word is ready.
Oh right, speaking of which, so for those who don't know, Kano and Force here who are casting with me right now, they are a part of the map pool selections team. So Kano, I'm gonna ask you too, while you're still here, how do you think the players have behaved so far from what you've seen, in accordance to your map pool?
I mean, it's kind of gone as expected. A lot of these maps sort of have the opportunity for one or two players. I mean, sometimes you might see a couple more, but yeah, the spots that we place these maps in for are pretty much filling the roles that they're meant to do. Like, we see a lot of players missing in spots where it's expected. It's kind of what the group stage pool was designed for. Like, you don't want to make it completely resident sleeper, but at the same time, you want to try and make sure that players also have an okay experience whilst, having a little bit of a challenging aspect to it. A lot of these maps are quite underrated, and there's still a chance for, random misses to occur. It is a group stage pool, and I do think we went a little tiny bit easier in comparison to our expectation, or at least expectations, as the years progressed. I think, based on common feedback, if I'm still pooling on the team next year, definitely looking to push for a harder group stage pool, or something that probably feels a bit more like a round of 16, like in between group stage round of 16 kind of level.
And what about you, Forrest? What do you have to say for the players so far?
I'm gonna have to pretty much agree with what Kane just said. It is to be expected, pretty much. There was obviously a little bit of an issue with just the map holding a little bit too easy. The first map we picked to kind of have the guideline or the baseline of the difficulty was a little bit too easy. So we just kind of went with that. And more consistent difficulty, which was consistently too easy, I guess you could say. People are getting better over the years. That's one thing for sure, and something we have to take into account even for next year.
Yeah, I definitely want to chip in here as well, just quickly to say that I think that the pool definitely needs to be upped a tiny little bit as the years go by. I think the only reason that we went for, I guess, an easy pool as we did this year is the fact that with the changes of having a grand finals pool, we don't want to go too harsh with scaling it out, but at the same time, like I think what we can probably achieve if we were to have a grand finals pool next year, for example, is that you would start a little bit harder but just have extremely slow scaling in comparison. Or not extremely slow, but definitely a slower scaling aspect. Because, I mean, players are just getting better and better each year. I mean, you've seen it from some of the rosters that have stepped up. I mean, Team Australia last year got knocked out in groups, and here they are, you know, absolutely dominating groups right now. Obviously, the pool was a tiny little bit easier, but with that said, like, the pool also wasn't that hard last year. So,
yeah.
I mean, a bit of unlucky timing by Kano saying that people are getting better and better every year, and then you see a D on stream. But yeah, it's pretty much along the lines of that. People are getting better and better, and there's so many more talented people coming out of nowhere that things just need to be ramped up a little bit to kind of showcase the skill differences between two players.
I mean, you've seen the difference between like what kind of picks we've had in previous years. When you look back at it, I mean, what we were looking at is that sometimes when we go for a pick, for example, like you take a look back at that pick and see when it was taken, like, you know, if it was in one of the previous OWCs, because obviously we have to verify whether or not it did. And then when you take a pick like that, you see where it's been placed. Like you see like a map that you want to use this year in like round of 16 or group stage or something like that, and it's been used in like 2012, 2013 as like a finals map. So it's just really interesting to see how far we've come as a community, how much the players have improved as well. So definitely something to look forward to in terms of the map pool and map pooling. I think 2019 is particularly going to be really good, the map pools and whatnot.
Oh yeah. I'm already getting excited for next year, even though this year is just barely started.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, we're just into the first like 3 matches of group stage, and it's like we're already talking about 20. Oh boy! I mean,
speaking of the match, so when we were busy talking there, the first warm-up match actually already happened. I believe that was a pick from France, because I think that was some sort of the FIFA World Cup reference, and France, I believe, was the team that won this year. So. Yeah, and this time we have the second pick coming from Hong Kong, I believe. This is Daisuke, a very, very popular meme song from the rhythm game community.
A good difficulty being Sour Police. I really love the way this map plays. You definitely have to be on point with your finger control to not just completely die out on those streams.
Oh yeah, you already saw the space streams over there. That's very alternate heavy.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's pretty much a space stream map, and then there's like the doubles in the middle of it, which you have to like stop for a second and then continue again. The stop and go mechanic of this song is pretty tough. And then you see people going harder on it and getting 90% accuracy. No, that's not 90%. I would be. That's 95%. It's not that bad.
I would have to say that this map pretty much lives up to the expectations of the Sour Please. You kind of do a bit of a dance with your cursor and your fingers at the same time. You know, it really represents that difficulty game very well. Not only that, but the song is an absolute banger, so you can't go wrong with that.
I think the mapper is trying to relive the dance from the song. If you've never heard of Daisuke, do YouTube it and look at the music video. It's
very, very spicy indeed.
And no, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's mapped by Hong Kongese mapper, isn't it?
I think this one is by KW.
Yeah, KWK, Australian, right?
New Zealand map.
New Zealand, yeah.
As for his
Close
actual
enough.
background, I don't honestly know. Like he might be, but
Yeah, well, I know that the Hong Kong has a lot of meme mappers, if I would call them that.
Yeah.
And the before in previous OWCs they used to throw out their own maps. So I was just making a guess there. Didn't even actually see the little description box underneath. All right, and that's the second warm-up map out of the way. So which means we'll now move on to the bands. We'll let you know, of course, in the chat what the bands are after their we'll do a recap basically. And I believe Force will be exiting the podium now.
Yeah, now that the match is gonna start and the commentators have been chosen for this match, which is going to be Evrian and Kano, yours truly. I'm gonna have to say goodbye because 3 people commenting right now is just too many cooks, and I don't want to get in your guys' way.
All right, well, thank you so much for your carrying earlier.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have fun with the rest of the matches. I'm gonna be coming back for the evening for some of these spicy matches in the evening. Until then, good luck and have fun.
All right.
Alright, take it easy. Alright, let's get this show on the road.
Yep, let's do this. Seems like the teams have banned their picks. We have, I believe, on the screen here, Sola and Haloquin banned, right?
Which team banned?
Sola
which?
banned by friends, and I believe
yep.
Hong Kong banned by Hong Kong banned Haloquin, not the other way around. Yeah, which is I think if I recall correctly, Haloquin was banned in an earlier match as well, right?
Yeah, I believe that was also banned in the last match between South Korea and Belgium.
I see. Well, I mean it's understandable. That map really is a challenge to hit on Hard Rock.
Yeah, definitely a really, really good test of accuracy in stream.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but aiming the stream component is not the easiest task either, especially on Hard Rock. First pick is going to be Crush.
Ooh, we're already seeing this pick being picked. I think it's being picked every single match so far, right?
It was actually banned in the first match between Australia and Norway because Australia went for the ban against Norway. I don't think Norway are ever going to see an A-Ray hidden or an A. I mean, it's unfortunate for them because obviously they have some players who are strong enough.
Mm-hmm. And to quickly tune in here, we do have some updates from the other matches. We have Indonesia versus Sweden. Indonesia is leading 4-1 right now. And
that's actually very exciting.
Yeah, and I believe, let's see, South Korea versus Brazil, they're just beginning as well, and their bans have just come in. South Korea and Brazil banned the exact same maps. No way, actually no, sorry, my bad. Haloquin and Crush, not Sola. So Haloquin once again gets the further end of the stick. Maybe we'll see more popularity in the later matches, but for now we're going to be seeing less of that. And this first game is about to get underway.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how both of these teams do perform on A-Rate Hidden in particular, because it's hard to say. Like, I mean, they're both very, very solid rosters. I mean, probably one of the underrated teams. Obviously, they are. I think they're the bottom seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, they're unseeded.
It's just such a surprise to see that.
Yeah, well, some of the best players aren't playing this year. I think that contributed to it, and overall, like their roster is very underrated by the TV ranking. And also on the French side, we have like guys with really good reading skills, like Musty and Nero. Like these guys, they're just able to read basically anything you throw at them. The pool also is not going to be taken light of. Like these three, I believe, will be able to show us something good here, even though it's AR8 hidden.
Yeah, Musty, Nero, and the Poon are definitely some really, really strong players to look forward to on the side of France. But I mean, the entire roster itself is just shaped to be strong for both sides. It's really, really hard to discredit any player or give too much credit to one player because they're just all good. They're all around good.
Yeah, like it's really hard to say, like who deserves more. I guess it's just who gets a better condition on the day off.
I mean, at the end of the day, we could say like our favorites, or we could try and point you in the right direction for players to look out for, but there's definitely going to be some sort of upsets, people that improve, people show up on the day. So just have to wait and see how they do perform on these maps. So getting into this area pick. So far, seems like we have a couple early misses coming in from the side of Hong Kong.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure if those are client lag or their actual misses, but for now, let's assume they are, which means our Team Friends will be commanding an early lead.
Oh my goodness, France is looking very strong in this. 3 SS and a 99.6. That is ridiculous. I mean, managing to get through that triple into slider pattern is quite tricky. Some people do slip up on that and drop a fair bit of back.
Yeah, AR8 is especially punishing when you are not used to reading it and they throw a stack at you. Like, you've really got to pay attention to the rhythm to not mess up, and otherwise you'll just tank accuracy. Maintaining that 100% double S is very, very good, even though this is a fairly easy map. Like, on the other side, Team Hong Kong is doing half bad. They don't have a single double S left, but overall the players are still holding on. Like, they have some earlier trip ups, but it seems like that's actually going to be an early nail in their coffin if they're not careful.
All players managing to hit that flow into snapping and second.
Oh yeah.
No troubles whatsoever, but I mean, as we've seen so far, Hong Kong, they have 2 slightly lower combos in comparison to the French side, and not only that, but the French side's accuracies are ridiculous at the moment.
Right,
Chaos
we're
is
entering
gonna
the section
knock
where accuracy is gonna get buffed ridiculously. Like, it happens at the beginning and happens at the end. The accuracy modifier just kicks in, and that's where the gap really widens. Can Hong Kong hope for a break coming from Team France, or is Team France going to just streamline through this with 4 FCs? Let's take a look.
I mean, seeing 4 FCs from the side of France would definitely be very impressive on a map like this. We've got the
definitely.
1-2 jump section coming in, but it's not your traditional 1-2 jump section. These patterns are really, really hard to snap, and they're coming in. We do see a miss from Saku coming in there. The French side is still holding on to 4 full combos with 2 SS. Oh
yeah, this is
God.
also a Hong Kongese pick. So if Hong Kong loses it, they'll be down 1 pick short.
Ooh, Muha almost failed there at the end though with that stream.
Oh yeah!
Oh my goodness, that was really close.
Yeah,
Must have been
HP yeah, the HP drain is very, very relaxing on this one. So he's not in bad shape at all, and he was able to recover just fine. That's going to be first point going over to Team French. I can't wait to say Team French.
Yeah, France.
French
yeah. Fries.
Yeah.
But nah. I mean, that was a really, really scary moment for Muha right there. 4 misses. If it was any more than that, that could have been a complete fail from.
Oh, definitely.
Chaos, it's also with the 1x100 there. Very solid performance, but Musty.
Yeah, shout out to Musty. Double S.
I mean, the thing about this map as well is that like an SS is really, really tricky to get just because there's actually a blue tick double. There's actually a slight pause before it, and hitting that on Scorby2 can be pretty tricky if you're not aware that it's there. But I mean, if you practice the map enough and you know the rhythm choices, it's definitely not something that you're going to struggle with, and we've seen that from Musty so far. I mean, SSing that, Muha as well, also SSing right up until the end.
Alright, and up next we have the double 10 pick Pokey.
Yeah, Hogiboshi coming in from the French side, looking to get into that double force Hong Kong side into some, speed.
I mean, Hong Kong isn't weak in double tank per se, but the French roster just looks so scary right now. I can definitely see them taking this one as well if they just give what we saw in the previous map. The same thing here. Hong Kong, then again, the Hong Kong does have players who are very fast as well. I know Nanako is a pretty good double tank player himself, and Giz can just handle whatever map is thrown at him. So you never know. They could just put something the French team isn't expecting.
I think this map is definitely a map that calls for some random misses, particularly on some of the kickslider sections. They are but besides that, the map is fairly standard. Most teams shouldn't have too much trouble on a map like this, but it really depends on whether or not this is your style of defeat.
Yep, this is once again AR 8.5 going into DT, which means it's AR 10. And we're now starting this map, so good luck to the players, and let's see what double S.
I mean, the thing about this map as well is that like an SS is really, really tricky to get just because there's actually a blue tick double. There's actually a slight pause before it, and hitting that on Scorby2 can be pretty tricky if you're not aware that it's there. But I mean, if you practice the map enough and you know the rhythm choices, it's definitely not something that you're going to struggle with. And
I mean, one of the first things that all those players will have to come to terms with is that even though it's double time, it's actually 1.5 times the original speed.
yeah, it's like double but divided.
Yeah, double but not quite there yet.
Double but not quite double.
Yeah. Alright, so this first section, first course just passed. We do have a lead taken by the French team. I think that's just due to accuracy alone right now. Nobody has broken, so we're going to have to see who breaks first to make a deciding impact on this map. But for now, the French players definitely have a better accuracy advantage.
I mean, the accuracy advantage is going back and forth between the two players. This is looking to be quite the act battle map at the moment.
Oh yeah.
I think it might change in the next half.
And there it is. We do have the little bit of changing style here, but not quite as much. Overall, the map is very straightforward, so it really just a test of consistency on AR10 double time.
Yeah,
and
the
let's
scores
see right
are just,
now. The score's only 10k difference.
Yeah, the scores are just non-stop flickering. I mean, group stage, you usually kind of expect some act battles, but holy moly, between these two teams, we're going to expect it even more. These are teams which are capable of FCing pretty much all of the maps in this pool. Not only that, but two highly contested accuracy-based teams. And when you see the likes of Chaos Lips against, like, you know...
Oh, but
Boon,
there's a
Mustang-
miss! There's a miss coming in from the French side. Okia, I believe that's his name, or Oxia, is actually missed, and that may actually be the punishing nail decider.
Yeah, Oxy with the drop there, and that's
Yeah.
just going to be the convincing lead going to...
Yeah,
1-1.
with that one drop, that's so punishing though. There's no mistake allowed in this entire thing. Hong Kong does take this away with 4-4 combos, and yeah, that's only one player drop. Holy, can you believe that?
Yeah, I mean, even with that one player dropping there, though, I still think that Hong Kong would have won that just because of they have slight accuracy
Possibly,
advantages.
yeah, you're right.
It's-
Like,
it's-
Oxia does have a
it-
lower accuracy.
It's really, really close, but like
yeah,
there's
really
one,
close.
yeah, like without the miss, you would have to see Oxia probably around 98%,
Mhm.
and then again, like that's pretty much every single player on 98 point something, you know. You see two players with pretty much exact same act. You have 98.41, 98.9.
Well, that's a breather for Hong Kong because they just lost their first pick, and now France has lost their first pick as well. Basically, they traded first picks, and once again, it's back to Hong Kong to pick the map. So, yeah, they can possibly just take off from here, even though it's best out of 9, but like 4 points go by very fast, so you never know. Oh, and the next map has been picked. It's Indifferences. This is a Nomad pick.
Yeah, Hong Kong going for that indifferences, but also not. I mean, at the end of the day, like it's hard to say what these teams are going to go for. They're just going to go for things that they're good at or enjoy, especially when you know you have two juggernaut teams against each other. But with that said, we might see some random misses occur in the beginning, but I don't think these teams are going to see that. I mean, if it does happen, it might happen on the triangles, but it's very, very, very unlikely. I think the second half of this map is definitely something that you're going to be having to pay attention to when it comes to these two teams, because those high velocity sliders, definitely going to see some misses coming in.
Oh yeah, and we do see a little bit of changing roster on the French side as well. We have Raiden. Is it Raiden? I can't.
It's
Ryzen.
Ryzen coming in.
Ryzen. Okay, there we go. Ryzen. The brightness is a little bit confusing on my end. So, well, Ryzen is going to come in for this map, and Musty is replacing Oxia. What was Ryzen here last map as well? I don't know. I was so tight that I focused primarily on the circles and the score, not the players. So yeah. So and they're going in.
Just before we do get started with this match, I actually want to make a quick comment. Indonesia actually won against Sweden, and currently South Korea versus Brazil. South Korea is 2 points over Brazil, which is quite surprising as Brazil is the top seed and definitely one of the really, really scary teams that we've seen now. And
the Brazilian players are always a force to be reckoned with in those, and OWC in particular. Here we go into the first hard pattern section. This is where we see a little bit of overlay tricky triangles. Let me break on the first one, but we got more coming right after that. And Ryzen is the first one to bite the dust for those patterns. That is too punishing.
Ryzen followed by Musty as well. Musty having a lot of trouble with this. I mean, we've seen Musty having outstanding accuracy throughout this tournament so far, but this map is just tanking it away.
I think Musty can definitely do it, but I think he's being a little bit, I guess, diffident in himself, so he's trying to cheese through those, which is fine too. You do sacrifice some accuracy to get that combo carried through there. But is it really worth it? I guess maybe just risk averse. So we'll see for now. Nonetheless, Hong Kong is still holding 4-4 combos, and they're looking to carry that lead to the very end. Halfway past the map, and let's see who will prevail here. We do have a long way to go still, even though it's only like, what, 1 minute?
Here's where the high velocity slider section kicks in, and this is where we're probably going to see some misses coming in. But in order for France to make any sort of comeback, they need to hold on to all of their combos and hope that maybe 2, preferably 3 players from Hong Kong. They've gotten through it fine, no troubles whatsoever.
But that's not the miss they wanted. Wuha on the French side actually is the one to miss. And we know that these Hong Kongese players, if you let them an inch of breather space, they'll take in the whole feed from you. So that's going to be a lead going over to Hong Kong, even in a greater extent. 700,000, 800,000 points in climbing. Oof, I don't think there's this one going for France. I think Hong Kong got this.
Yeah, this is definitely a strong pick for Hong Kong. I mean, if you're any team looking to face Hong Kong in the next matches, this is probably looking to be your looking to either be your ban or definitely, because I mean 399% FCs along with Gids also with a 98% FC.
Look at Saku, that's 1/100 and it's a slider end miss.
It is.
Oh my god!
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, like all these players, like you can once again you cannot judge a team solely by the seeding. We did say that 8 out of 10 times you can make a guess, but this is going to be one of those 2 out of 10 times where Hong Kong makes a surprising entrance, and you'll be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean Hong Kong is one of the lower seeds. They came in at seed 29, so another team that sort of barely just scraped through. I mean I wouldn't say barely, but they are pretty close to the lower threshold more than they are to the higher threshold. That's for sure. But
oh, definitely. Hong Kong is here, and they are looking to take this one after another. And the French team, once again, opting for double time. They're going for Hane no Nakicho, the other double time pick.
Yeah, the French side looking to go for 2 double times. But a bit of a surprise actually after the upset on Hokiboshi with the 1 miss. But I mean, a 1 miss, it's random, it can be expected. And I think this map is also very different from Hokiboshi.
Yeah, like both teams are very strong, but what we're seeing here is that Hong Kong has a better consistency going on today. So the French players definitely have to readjust themselves quickly, because if they let Hong Kong too many of those mistakes, the Hong Kong is going to take this. And that's going to be an unseeded team actually taking over a top seed.
And as mentioned, guys, we are having a little bit of trouble with the double time order.
Yeah, so bear with us.
But yeah, once we get into the song itself, things should it's just during the waiting period. But I mean, at the same time, you might also be into this kind of music, where it has that slight little edge. If that's what you enjoy with your music, just to spice it up that little bit more. Suit yourself, honestly.
Alright.
We're going to be getting into this one here. We have a bit of a roster swap up for Hong Kong in particular. You actually have Sky's Wire coming out along with High Call as well. Electro Fire on the side of France. Ryzen staying in as well.
Like before, I think it was up to, that was 2014, where we had like a rule saying that you can only allow, I think, 1 or 2 player swaps per match. And that back then was very tactical about how you want to make a pick. Like, you want to make sure your player is ready for this not upcoming pick, but you also want to anticipate what the opponents will pick. But for now, that rule is being removed, long removed actually. So we are seeing the players just coming in here and there.
It's actually crazy to look back at that, because that's around the time that I started playing OS myself, like
many players
2013, 2014. And I completely forgot about that rule being a thing, because I actually remember it specifically, and I was like, wait, hold on, players can only swap out like 1 or 2 players per map or something? But
yeah. And this early lead once again taken by Hong Kong. I saw misses from both sides and did not comment on that. But I think like for now we're gonna see the more punishing and going to France because they missed later on in the map.
Yeah, Ryzen having an early drop is definitely not looking good for the side of France right now. Hong Kong are looking really, really strong. I mean, this is quite a surprise. I mean, the unseeded team against the top seed team, if I'm not mistaken. I believe France is top seed.
Yeah. And Electrofire and Gaze actually dropping at the exact same spot, which means that the lead will not really change. But then again, the accuracy the players hold may change as a result, so that may come into effect. A tiny lead is being held by Hong Kong right now, only about a couple 10,000 points. So we're gonna have to see what happens in the final quarter of the map. Really make a deciding call on this. But for now, both teams are showing quite good consistency overall. But that consistency can just fly out of the window. We never know. We have to see.
Yeah, and I mean, all players managing to get through that build-up section a little bit as well, having no troubles whatsoever. I mean, we still have Hong Kong holding on to so many combos, and there's very little map left. They have to have maybe 1 or 2 players drop right now in order for any comeback. The point lead is not much. The accuracy on the side of France is just so strong that, you know, we could almost see a turning point as long as one of the players from Hong Kong missed, like right now. It needs to happen now, if any time.
Oh no, I don't think it's happening though, because Hong Kong is actually looking to take this one back home as well. France allowed one too many misses there. Oh, Sky's wife missed, but is it enough?
Oh, it's right at the end, like right at the very end. Sky's Wide doing what was needed to be done for the side of Hong Kong there, holding on as long as required. But if that miss was any earlier, that would have been either so much closer, or you know, it would have been in France's way.
Right, and you can see that the score lead at the very end is only about 100,000, and that's not a lot in the group stage map pool. So yeah, like this is very close. Despite what the score may tell you, it's 3-1 right now. But both teams actually just clinging to a very slight margin of lead and only punishing the other side for their very many mistakes.
This is absolutely wild so far. I mean, we're seeing a lot of top-seeded teams sort of, you know, not having the best of times at the moment. You got South Korea, which is 3-0 against Brazil at the moment as well. Hong Kong is up 3-1 to France. I mean, obviously Australia is the top-seeded team of their group, and they just performed outstanding. 5-0 against Norway is you know, a really strong, solid start for them.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of Hong Kong fans, Hong Kong players coming in the chat saying, "Let's go Hong Kong!" And damn, I love that. I love to see more from the French players actually. So if you support Team France and you want France to make a comeback here, do let them know right now. The players will come back to revisit the chat afterwards. So show them your love, show them you care, you want them to win. And Hong Kongese fans, of course, do the same thing. Let's see who can drown out the other side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at this point you want to be cheering for your favorite team. Who do you guys want to see? Whether you are, you know, from France or whether or not you're from Hong Kong, I mean, you may still support either one of the two teams, so make your voices heard.
And an update on the other matches we're having right now. So China is playing against Slovakia, and China is right now leading 2-0.
Yeah, I think China is definitely one of those teams which is expected to get through groups.
Yeah, like they've always been very consistent. They bring their A roster, even though they may not have their best roster, aka the featuring Rustfell this year, but they will be able to show us something pretty impressive with veterans like D-Sun, GGBY, Matsumoto Risek, Crisco, and yeah, so looking forward to casting their matches as well.
Yeah, and oh boy, we're going to be seeing Yellow Splash. I think this might be the first time we've seen it. I'm not sure if we've seen it in the Australia vs Norway match or any of the other matches that have been played.
Well, you're the one casting, so I would believe you.
Well, it's just we didn't actually get a chance to, you know, cast the Australia Norway match, and not only that, but I haven't been keeping fully up to date with the picks and bans for the other links. So.
All right.
Yellow Splash. This is going to be the first time that we see it on stream, at least.
Yeah.
This is meant to be the more stream-orientated pick, but it does have some slight techie elements, I would say, like very, very light tech stuff. A lot of buzz sliders as well, which could kind of trip a lot of people up as well if you're not expecting. But when it comes to guy mapping is always just, you can't complain.
Guy is a great mapper and a great player. Once again, he was the OWC champion in 2014. He was playing on the side of the Japanese team. And as a mapper, he's also very solid. Like many of his maps are both challenging, fun, and also a very enjoyable experience to play. I think the players definitely appreciate seeing Guy's map in the map pool. And speaking of mappers, actually, earlier, I believe it was in the previous match. What was it between the last one stream?
That was between South Korea and Belgium.
Yeah, South Korea and Belgium. Like when the Nano's map was picked, well, not the song. What's the song again? I gotta go check that out.
Dreamcatcher.
Right, Dreamcatcher. That was mapped by Dev, and the Dev was pinging me on the Discord saying, "Oh my god, they picked my map." Yeah, like some mappers really take it as a pride when their map gets selected in WC. So maybe Guy, if he's watching, he definitely feels pretty good when his map is being showcased right now. Alright, and back to the match itself. So France is leading for the first half of the map. Both sides haven't dropped yet. We do see the consistency once again being the loudest speaker here. So whoever will drop first, I guess, once again we'll have to see that. Or it could be an accuracy battle. Hey, wait, full combo. Do you think that'll happen, Tino?
It's really, really hard to say because there's definitely a really, really tricky stream coming up very shortly. You know, you pretty much hear around the time of where the air horn kicks in. But this is probably going to be the spot where we might see some misses coming in, but if we don't see any misses, this is going to be a close.
Actually, right, we're saying that Ryzen actually missed.
Oh my goodness, Ryzen dropping there. This is, oh my goodness.
No, that's not what French is looking for at all. But with that, Hong Kong is able to take off, and just look at the score. There's no coming back from this.
Hong Kong is just soaring away. Right, Chaos Lid's also with an SS against, I can't see which one that is.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Red Code.
The Prune is still on an SS as well, but yeah, France are almost having a similar repeat to their last group stage.
Yeah, but look at the accuracy though. 3-100 from Musty, 1-100 from the Poon and Muha.
Yeah.
They have a generally higher accuracy than the Hong Kongese side, but that's not enough when one of their players dropped. Although Chaos Lid is also, of course, getting that double S. Very, very impressive. Shout out to him.
Yeah, I'd have to say honestly, if France were able to hold on to all full combos there, it probably would have gone their way despite Chaos Lid's having an SS there. But Chaos Lid's is just so... But Muha and the Poon also having a very solid performance. The Poon only got a 1-100 right at the end of that, so...
Yeah, Ryzen, I believe he did finish. It's just that the map itself finished and he exited the room, so the client reported that he quit too early. Looked like a DC, but I think he actually finished. So... yeah, we are already at match point, but it's not really what we're expecting when we begin with this, because France is being the one that's being pressured right now. Hong Kong is up 4-1, so let's see what they're gonna choose. I believe it's the France's pick as well.
I mean, if you're France right now, you are just thinking to yourself, like, we are pushed back against a wall. What do we do?
Yeah,
where do we go?
There's
what do we
nothing
pick?
to lose. We have to make something happen. If I were friends, I would honestly just go for something that we feel more comfortable on, just so we can get a break from ourselves and take a breather, of course. So honestly, it's up to the players. Like, you just gotta go back to their comfort zone. Maybe go for a more conventional pick like Clock Strikes to make sure that full combo comes in. But then again, it's only 5 stars, so the Hong Kong side might as well pull 4 combos as well. 4 combos, sorry.
Yeah, it's such a sad time for France though. Like, their accuracies across the board have been so good, but they've just had one player dropping per. I understand if you have one player drop, maybe 1 map or 2 maps or something like that, but it's been happening almost every single match that they've just had that one drop, and that has been the reason why they've lost the point.
Yeah, one drop or one drop too many.
This thing just cannot be happening for them in group stage. Out of all the times, like, you would expect 4-man FCs almost all the time from a lineup like this, but just these random misses, it's just extremely unlucky for them.
Yep. Well, let's take a look at what do we still have. We have Dreamcatcher, we have Leeway Terrorism, we have no questions already been picked. Clock Strike, and that's it.
We actually have Breasts or Politely Leave the Room.
Yeah, Breasts or Politely Leave the Room. I was trying to just ignore that. Okay, alright.
Please kindly exit my atmosphere. My safe space has been violated right now by this map. But yeah, with that said,
I am triggered by this. Please pardon me as I go quietly protest in Wall Street. Alright, so let's take a look whether it will be Hong Kong Mansui or Viva la France. This is really a deciding pick when it's at match point, so yeah. Good luck to France and also good luck to Hong Kong. We'll let whichever side having a better player prevail. Alright, and once again, this is a free mod pick, meaning the players can choose whichever the mod they want, so long as 2 players have mods on the team. We do have Hardrock from Gids and Saku MCY both sporting Hidden. On the French side, we have Muha on Hidden, the Pooh on Hardrock, and Musty on Hidden Hardrock. So if ever full combo friends will win this one, assuming similar accuracy. But higher risk, higher reward, meaning that France is more likely to break as a result. Let's see who gets the consistency game on for this one. Time to kick some ass.
Yeah, I mean, it's really surprising to see the differentiation. Like, there's just seeing 2 Hidden, 1 Hardrock, seeing Hidden Hardrock, Hardrock Hidden. It's just really interesting to see how these teams are looking to play this map, and I'm honestly just pleased with this Primo pick as it is. It's quite nice to see like this wide variety of mods, because a lot of the time Fremod as a map pool selector is quite hard to pick something that's very balanced between the two, because realistically speaking, generally you're gonna have one map which is much more heavily favored to the other depending on what you do choose.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a miss from Mr. Zom, the normal player. That's the player they're trying to get consistency on, but he's failing his team's expectations, and that's going to be a very hard one for them to come back on unless Hong Kong breaks.
Mr. Zom and Muha as well also dropping there on hit.
That's
Saku is on an SS with Hidden right now, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, Hong Kong once again showing to us that seeding means BS on this press or politely get out of the room. We do have more misses coming in from actually MCY this time, but Muha resetting his own combo. Musty they are breaking as well. Only the pool is now left with a hard rock full combo, but that's not really enough as we do see Hong Kong taking this home. They're going to get that full combo all the way down. Well, actually, no, not really. Gates breaking there, but that's still more full combos going on for Hong Kong than France. And that alone is going to speak for Hong Kong winning this.
And Poon, definitely one of the stronger players to look at. And I believe we actually have a disconnection issue or something from Mr. Zom.
Well, that's not going to matter at all, because regardless,
that's it. Convincing victory for Hong Kong there on that pick. The Poon coming in with a solid Hard Rock FC. Saku with an SS on Hidden. My goodness, that performance. MCY as well, also having 1 X100 but 1 miss. And Chaos Litz, just the flat 1 miss. Straight up. Hong Kong, their accuracy on that map was ridiculous.
Absolutely great performance from Hong Kong.
Even Gids was holding a 99.5 on Hard Rock until the second half of that.
Yeah, and can you believe that? Hong Kong, an unseeded team, taking over France, a top-seeded 5-1 in group stage. Like, even though this is group stage, this is still quite a considerable difference. We would expect more of a closer matchup, even if this were to happen. But I guess, consistency once again speaks louder than ever, and Hong Kong is going to be the one to scream that consistency today.
I mean, Hong Kong coming in as the underdog. I mean, pretty much every single high seed or top seed team was being extremely scared to see Hong Kong in their group.
Oh, and yeah.
I mean,
like, they are very misleading to see on the unseeded side. So for now, I think we'll be taking a slight break before we move into the next match to be streamed.